Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And on tonight's episode, it's time to review Week 3 of the Premier League, including some comebacks from Liverpool and Man United, the rest of the scores from the past weekend, and a look ahead at a big match. And then we're going to whistle for halftime as the husband of Ham. Ron, take a quick snooze, as raising a newborn can be tiresome, but the old conductor of the chicken can still smoke some meat. Boy, was dinner good. So I think that means no beer news, but Ferris really enjoyed the smoked chicken that Ron made tonight. Is what I think.
Well, and Ron could tell us, for a little halftime short break, to tell us that what he was explaining to us, how he did that today, and what was so damn good.
I love it.
Our next podcast, recipes with Ron.
Yeah, that's our other show, man. It's, smoking it up with Ron. And then, of course, we're going to return to the second half of the pod with little LaLeague's Roundup. Only a slight delay. It's pretty good. It's the satellite. But first, on to our beer. Gents, who wants up first for the beer?
Oh, you can go first if you want, man.
All right, man. I'm going to do one. I don't think we've had this company. Correct me if I'm wrong. D9 Brewing out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Have we done a D9 yet?
I think
Doesn't
so.
sound familiar.
Well, they are out of Huntersville. Their big thing, like most others, they after 6 years they graduated of brewing in the garage. They went to a commercial facility, and they're really big in doing stuff in their community. Their mission at D9 is to inspire and support the community through the creation of exciting and originally crafted ales. As explorers of all beer styles, we offer a wide variety of selections from exceptional craft drinking experiences, and we invest in the scientific exploration of the natural world to produce the highest quality and unquestionably original crafted ales.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have picked one. The one I have picked is because I love the name. This mocha brown ale needed a fanatical bovine with a brown sugar sweet side and kick of Colombian coffee. Brown sugar. Well, hold on. This ale is brewed with a chocolate, vanilla, brown sugar, and Colombian coffee. We added a hint of lactose, and this brew is a mocha coffee and cream concoction. So good, you'll say you will sing its name. Do you know what its name is? Boom, chicka, brown sugar, brown cow.
Is that what the name is?
Yep, brown sugar, brown cow. Makes me very happy. That's
What's
a
the
good one.
can art?
And the can art is a cow hanging out in its wellies, little brown and white cow. I've had I believe it's one of their IPAs before. Pretty good. So I'm excited to try this one.
That's fun.
Very cool, man.
Hopefully there's not too much coffee in it. I would like to go to bed tonight.
Yeah, hopefully that coffee caffeine hit is not too much.
Send me that. I could use it at 3 a.m.
Ron drinking coffee beer? That's a new one.
Ugh.
What's next? A sour?
That'll
No.
wake you up.
I'll douse myself in gasoline and light myself on fire before I do that.
That's a little. I mean, well, you are in that world.
I was
so
going to say, Ron has
safely if you
done
do it
that.
anyway.
I was going to say, Ron has done that for money for movies before. So, yes, that's accurate, actually.
If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be you. Well, gents, you know what tomorrow is?
Friday.
Yeah. It's also September 1st, the first day of fall.
Is it actually the first day of fall?
I think so.
I thought it was like the 22nd.
Oh, somebody want to fact. If I just made it up, It still sounds. It's going to go with my beer, so just go with it.
It's also deadline day.
It's also deadline day. True.
Yep.
Which means our next pod will be our official preview.
Yeah.
So yes, it's one hell of a stall tactic that we've been doing, but we still don't know where everybody's going to be. So that's going to be our excuse. We're going to roll with it.
Fair enough.
So I just made up its first day of fall.
Perfect.
We just stalled drastically on our Premier League preview, but it's an international break.
Yep.
Right? So what better time to then bring us back into the Premier League vortex with our preview?
Oh, okay. I dig it.
Mine's thinking incredible. Okay. And so does Tactical Brewing's mind. So look at that segue, Blake. Oh,
That's a
Blake
good segue. That's a good
impressed.
segue.
I saw him on the old camera. So first day of fall means Halloween, right? Blake has worked this event. Ron has worked this event. I am currently working this event called Halloween Horror Nights. that is going to be starting tomorrow, right? The premier horror Halloween event, right?
Just to be clear, he is not saying whore.
No, horror.
He's saying horror.
Horror. Horror.
Because that all
yes.
changes if you think that word was different.
Yes. So Halloween, fall, we're thinking all good things, right? And no relation, tactical has nothing to do with that, just so we're clear. But they did back in, when was this? Not too long ago, but back in July, release a beer. Not one, but 2 beers called Jekyll and Hype.
Yes.
So what's cool about these 2 beers, and we have both of them that Ron and I will split.
Yes.
All right, so 2 completely different beers, same grain bill, same hop profile. So if you know the story of Jekyll and Hyde there, Blake could probably go into it a little bit.
Oh, I know me some Jekyll and Hyde because, the Jekyll and Hyde musical, baby. This is the moment. Damn all the odds. Oh, man, I know me some Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay, all right. You get the doctor that turns into Jekyll, and it's fun. So,
he's trying to get the heart of what's the darkness inside of us, and he releases the beast.
Yeah, so it's Dr. Jekyll, and then he turns into to Hyde there down the road. This is Hype. All right, so Jekyll for the beer is a dry hopped oat lager with Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops.
Okay,
interesting. Right, so that'll be first up. That's what we'll have first.
Okay.
Then when you're talking about chicken and the smoking, then we'll switch to Hype, which is a triple hazy IPA, Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy. So these beers were released. We have both here. The can art is really freaking cool and slightly different on each, but slightly the same. Where you have your
that's cool.
Where you have your Dr. Jekyll on one side, and on the let's do this one first. So on the oat lager, you have Dr. Jekyll in this like bluish green, and then you rotate the can, and it says Jekyll and Hype, and then you get the Hype and a more evil looking doctor.
Nice.
And on the can, it just says dry hopped. Gives you all the things. This would be a 6% for it, and then we're going to end with a punch because a triple hazy IPA is going to be a 10%er.
Oh, jeez. Okay, it's a nightcap
out of 16-ounce cans.
I like it.
Tactical Brewing, who I know we've had on this pod before, fantastic brewery in the area. One of my absolute favorites. You can go to tacticalbeer.com or certainly give them a follow on Instagram, as you can go to what is their actual, as just Tactical Brewing on Instagram. So check them out. Really cool can art. We've had them on before. Remember the last one I think we had on was the something Inferno hatchback.
Yeah.
Velocitors. Yep. So they always have some cool.
We'll make sure to put pictures of the can in both its incarnations.
Yeah.
On the site and on our socials.
Absolutely.
The can art is really pretty slick.
All right. Shall we?
Let's do this.
Ooh, good crack.
That's the Jekyll side of things.
Yeah, that means the Hype one's going to explode on you.
Yeah, the Hype one is, that's going to hit like a rhino.
Ooh, I definitely smell that Colombian coffee. Well, someone might be up late tonight playing video games.
Did you get Hogwarts Legacy yet?
No, I still haven't gotten that yet. I actually started another playthrough of Jedi Knight Survivor. That game is so good. I started playing it through a second time.
I think that's on sale, so I'm gonna have to get.
It's so good. I love it.
Hogwarts is so good. That game is fun.
Every time you think you're almost at the end of that game.
Yeah, no, it just keeps going.
The gift that keeps on giving
the whole year, and it actually goes through like a year at Hogwarts with the season. So it goes to fall.
Does fall start September 1st in Hogwarts?
I bet it does. I bet it does. It actually starts after the. Is it the first time trial?
It's got the Quidditch deadline day
trial. I think it starts. Then second starts. Winter. Third stays kind of the same. I think I just completed the third.
But you can go get, once it turns fall, you can, go over to your favorite Hogwarts coffee shop and get yourself a pumpkin spice latte.
You sure can.
It's ridiculous.
You make it in potions class.
It's about that time of year, so all the pumpkin beers are all out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, gents. Cheers. Let's try these.
Ooh.
Different take on a lager.
Brown sugar, brown cow, for real. It's tasty.
This one it's a very interesting lager.
Yeah, you remember it has the same hop profile, so it has those Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops.
Right. It's a very...
But that dry oak, you do taste.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Ferris, the pod Ron could not do with us? I had a oat hazy IPA. It was that Lord of the Ring one.
Yeah.
And it did. Like, the base level was a very different vibe with that oat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sticks out. Like, you definitely... I mean, I haven't had a lager oat before, but like on that pale ale, like that oat profile comes through strong.
It's got a more complex flavor to it. The bitterness is a bit high, probably because you have such a extensive hop bill in there. But it still finishes nice and clean, like one of your more premium lagers. It's quite good.
It does. I mean, their beers are just also good. I know we talked about this last time I had their beer, but you always get what it says. You know, when it says dry oat lager, you get a bit of that. You get the lager taste. Then when it adds those hops of the ones that I just named, you taste those hops. So it's a good blend into everything and makes for a very, very good drinking beer that doesn't make you feel like you're drinking just a bunch of things tossed in and a bunch of just random things, and now you're just mixing everything together. Not sure, but the doctor certainly came up with a very good lager here.
Super good.
Well, this guy's super good. It's very sweet. Like, it reminds of like someone's like, you know, I love coffee. What they really like is like a Starbucks coffee with all the loaded sugar and everything, so that it doesn't even taste like coffee anymore. And this is kind of a coffee beer that has that vibe. It's a brown ale, so it's not as dark as like you usually get like the stouts or whatever that are like this. So it's definitely on the sweeter side, but not too sweet. It's pretty tasty. The bitterness of the coffee on the back end isn't too much, but highly recommended. D9 Brewing's pretty good. I've liked all their stuff so far. All right, gents, so we roll on to the Sakare.
Why not?
Alrighty. Well, first up, Newcastle was left stunned as second half sub Darwin Núñez brace completes Liverpool's comeback 2-0. This was a fun match to watch, actually. First a goal from former Everton boy Anthony Gordon in the 25th, then a red card sending off challenge for Virgil van Dijk in the 28th. He just said naughty words. And Darwin Núñez subs in the 77th. Núñez score in the 81st and 90th with 90 plus 3 minutes of added time is when he scored his second. It was a heck of a match, man. That was a really, really fun match.
They were basically both the same goal.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Exact same goal.
It's, sorry, Blake. But the way that Newcastle came out, the way that they had been playing, the red card, certainly, which, there is some contention on the red card, but hard to overturn when it's called that on the field. Trent Alexander-Arnold had a shout moments earlier before that first goal that he could have even been sent off as well. So there's a lot saying, well, he should have been sent off. So either way, there should have been a red card in this game. Anyways, you think Newcastle's going to go on to win it at home, with Liverpool on the road and a man down, but Klopp goes into half, musters up something, and Newcastle looked like they weren't even down a man in the second half. Newcastle didn't, they had opportunities, some good saves there by Alisson, but still a back and forth match.
Newcastle wasn't down a man. They were.
I'm sorry. Liverpool was down. Yeah.
Newcastle up a man. Liverpool didn't look like they were down a man. Yeah. And Newcastle, just kind of still back and forth in a way. It wasn't so much Newcastle dominating that half. Liverpool still looked very deadly on the counter, and as soon as they put in Darwin Nunez. He gave them a different feel on that kind of right wingish, right-sided striker, if you will, and put away his chances lovely. Like, yes, there was a mistake there, I think, on the first one from the center back, Dan Burn, but take nothing away from the strike. Very, very calmly and with a lot of pace on it, just buried to the corner, and then pretty much the same thing in this, with the second goal, and Liverpool just kind of snatch and grab there in the second half. So, wow.
I this kind of felt like one of those like, Newcastle, you won this game, you lost, because it kind of felt like they were going to take something out of this, and then the second half happens, and I know I said last pod, is Newcastle the real deal? Obviously, they got a Champions League slot last year, and I they'll be fighting again for it this year. They came out really strong, but I said, they have this tendency sometimes to wobble against a team that's not as great. Well, I don't think we really know what Liverpool is yet this year. I think it's easy to say they are stacked with good players. Consistency is probably going to be their problem, but I don't think that's a stretch. I think that's kind of what we assumed based off last year. If they turned out to be consistent this year, it would be a surprise for us. I think Newcastle, though, this is kind of what I meant. I don't know if they can do they have the ability to bring it, especially once Champions League gets rolling, like they did in their first few matches. Like I said, down a man, and they certainly didn't like they were down a man, and Newcastle had a really tough time with Liverpool. So I don't know what that portends for the season for Newcastle. I think they're going to be amazing, but unless Man City's really wobbly, I think they're fighting for a top 4. I don't think they're going to make a run for the whole thing.
What's crazy is that in this match, for the most part, Newcastle had control of the match, right? All the stats, when you look at it, 23 shots to Liverpool's 9, 8 to Liverpool's 4, 60% of the possession, pass accuracy, 86%. They won on fouls. The only thing they didn't win on were corners and red cards. And then obviously goals, right? But I think that defensive front of Botman and Byrne, they just looked like they didn't understand who was covering and when, and there was a lot of weird switch ups. They were constantly arguing with each other. Joe Linton was sort of helping them out, but then not. And it was just a really confused back line, it seemed like, especially once Nunez came in and started kind of running off the shoulder and getting in behind.
Yeah.
They looked extremely confused.
Yeah. And I think a lot of credit has to be given to Klopp and for his subs in this and for continuing to kind of attack down that side, knowing that this back 4 isn't unchanged. You have a consistent back 4 from Newcastle that has played pretty much a season in a few games here, which is Captain Kieran Trippier as the right back, Fabian Schär as the right-sided center back, Botman as the left-sided center back, and then Byrne playing that left back. Byrne's my size. I think he's a 6'6", 6'7" boy playing left back. That's a big left back. So he's not God's gift of pace there. And when you're sending Salah at him and you're sending Darwin Nunez on fresh legs at him, that's tough. I think a lot of the game changed, though, the minute that the goal scorer, Anthony Gordon, went off, because there was no longer a big threat to the Liverpool side. So it gave them a chance to kind of push forward more instead of kind of be back on their heels, where you had to be always weary of the threat from Gordon, because Gordon was all in Trent Alexander-Arnold's head to start the game, and as we, as I said a few moments ago, had an argument to be sent off with an early yellow and then a challenge, which would usually be a yellow card for a breakaway there.
He got lucky that he didn't.
He did
get carded, and the first one was for time wasting in the 5th minute or so.
It's so early where you just threw away the ball. It's silly. It shouldn't be a thing, especially in that part of the game. But from the letter of the laws that are out there right now, that players are known, have been told, that will get you a card. And it did. So at least there's some consistency there because we have seen that in a lot of other games. But yeah, as soon as Gordon went off, let's see, Harvey Barnes came in the 72nd, and Darwin Núñez came in the 77th. So a bit of a change there. You also brought off Isaac for Callum Wilson. Yeah, that's most games. And then Tenali for Longstaff. Kind of interesting there. So,
and Tenali's like the Newcastle hopeful, right? Like there's a lot. There's a lot of
he's been great.
On that guy.
Yeah, he's been great. And had a decent game. I wouldn't say he had a great game, but decent. So I think a lot of it comes down to the second half subs there and the game plan coming out of half. And Newcastle went for it, but they never got that second goal. So they were always going to be a little bit exposed there if any sort of Liverpool goal went in. And you're like, there's no way that Liverpool are going to win this, but they sure did. I think that's where Newcastle just being a young, put-together team to close out these type of games.
Well, and
I think that's where they have to grow.
Even down to 10 men, though, the problem with Liverpool, even when they aren't as sharp as 2-3 years ago, like everybody on that team can score. So there's no safety in that. Down a Liverpool down to 10 men, geez, and anybody on that team could score a brace and we wouldn't be shocked. Van Dijk, if he hadn't been sent off, could have scored. Trent Alexander could have. You know what I mean? Like
first time in 7 years or something, right? For him that he's been sent off.
Yeah. And it was basically for mouthing off. It seems like that was the thing that got him booted.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of question, or a lot of not question. Oh man, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but contention. That's what I was looking for about what it was. There's reports that it was because of his mouth, but he has been officially charged by the FA for his.
He got fined afterwards. Yeah,
language.
that was why he got sent off, because the red was automatically shown to him for that challenge being a last man opportunity type challenge, and it was the red contact. Yeah, I think it was the red. There was contact. He came across the man to win the ball. Last man, maybe a little bit of coverage there, but still the opportunity for Isaac to get in on goal and have a clean shot was certainly there, and that does play into the law as well.
Yeah. So he got charged afterwards, and I guess he's got till tomorrow. We're recording this on Thursday, so he's got till tomorrow, Friday, to try and appeal it.
And I don't
think it's going to happen.
I think you just shut up and say you're sorry. And
despite what was said, everybody saw him not want to get off the pitch. And, you haven't been sent off in 7 years. That's I don't really know what, who the heck knows what to do. And I don't really want to leave the pitch because I haven't had to do so from a ref's decision in that period of time. So you can't blame him. But at the same point, you saw him arguing. Who knows what was said? That's going to get you a fine.
Yeah. And hopefully not going to go the way of Casemiro and get another one in 2 weeks.
I don't have to.
But before we move to the next club, as a segue, Ron, Ferris's mic is kind of in front of it, but does his Man United shirt have like a pirate shirt top?
So I was going to get to that.
It's not
when
pirate.
we get to the Man
That's
United,
how they used to wear it back in the day.
Well, we're here. I mean, Man United's next, and I'm just looking. I'm like, it's got like the pirate shirt lacing at the top, like the string instead of buttons.
Yeah, he's got the swarthiness going on, especially with the old new stash.
The stash with a little soul patch. And you just need a rapier.
Yes, I do. Speaking of which, up next on the pod, no.
This
is
ancient restoration weapons.
I'm like, is that a kit from 1830? Like what is
close? So this, I think I mentioned it when I came back from England earlier in the year, but this was one of the retro kits that I got at Old Trafford when I went there from the store from I think the 92 season or
1892.
1792 actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's actually a very comfortable kit. It's not like from the same material back in 1992, where this thing would be dreadful to wear in Florida.
Be like
but,
a hockey jersey.
Yeah, right. But it's quite nice. It has the sponsor at the time, Sharp, which isn't like your. It is nice because it doesn't have like your ironed on, very thin decal type. Yeah, this has like a little bit of a felt there, if you will, on the Sharp. A quality badge in there, and then nice swashbuckler.
What do you call that, Ron? Like that string? Yeah, because it's like laced back and forth, so you can't really tighten it up. It's like that thing you see in The Princess Bride. Or Ferris, you're doing yourself a disservice on Halloween if you don't wear a poofy white shirt under that, and then let some frill come out from under that and get you like a red eye patch.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you can be like
Pirate United.
Yeah, something like that.
And the lasers, who hopefully will sell the club here sooner or later. Sorry. Also own Tampa Bay Bucks, known for a pirate ship in their stadium, and the swashbuckler persona there. So it all kind of flows together well.
You had to bring Bucks into it. Now it's gross. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to Manchester United. Speaking of Pirates, their unbeaten run at home stays intact as they come back from 2 down to beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 at Old Trafford. Now, Nottingham Forest wears a shirt like that. It makes sense to me because that's what Robin Hood would have worn. See, that's their kid.
Exactly.
Should be
it's
like
a
that.
Good segue there.
Within 4 minutes, Man United go down 2-0 as Nottingham Forest stunned the Old Trafford crowd. Boy, it was quiet. But United get back into the 17th minute with a Christian Eriksen goal. A lovely set-piece goal off the training ground ends in a Casemiro goal to make it even. Then things get worse for Forest as Joe Worrell gets sent off in the 67th. Then it gets even worse, and United complete the comeback with a pen awarded to them in the 76th, which Bruno Fernandes nuzzled into the bottom right corner. Speaking of gross. And he sneaks that into Matty Turner's goal. It's funny, like the Liverpool one was like kind of a wild match to watch. This felt so different. This felt like such a foregone conclusion. I mean, I know at 16 minutes in, there's a lot of game left to play, but I don't know about you guys. I was just like, that's it. Man United's losing this. To me, it did. I did not see that turnaround happening. And then once it started, they just kind of, kept moving forward. But it was very dire to start off with, and
it was still a dire game, despite a 3-2 win and them securing some things. It was still a pretty dire game, all things considered. The start of the season once again has not looked good for Ten Hag's men. He did get obviously that change, and you saw what would happen last season and with that kind of turnaround there. But those real early goals are sometimes just tough. And then there was 2, right? 2 within 4 minutes. Now you got to hang on away from home for that period of time. And Forest did their damnedest. They sure as hell did. United did not look great. Lack of a true number 9 probably would have helped in this. So they got goals though from Eriksen. That midfield of Bruno, Eriksen, and Casemiro started together. They were so good last year when they started together. They both got goal, or all 3 of them got goals in this. Eriksen got his first in the 17th. Like, okay, so now you have goals in the 4th, goals in the 17th. You're playing at Old Trafford where they've been unbeaten for the past 40-some games or something along those lines. Confidence is kind of there that at least a draw is going to come of this, right? The draw did happen. A lovely set piece. I mean, that was straight off the ground where ball was played in by Bruno, and you're like, why is he playing it way the hell out there? It was one of those, you play it way out there to bring everybody all the way out there to then put the ball back across, and then for him to put it back across that way. So it was this like tic-tacky-toe, lovely goal that I to be honest with you, did they hire somebody new? Because I've never seen a set piece play like that from them before. I was more like, I didn't even cheer. I was just like,
what just happened?
Wait, what? Yes, that's a good goal. Like that literally was right off the ground.
Like, I don't know whether to cheer or be angry that I haven't seen this until now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. And then the pen, I've heard a lot that's saying it's not a pen. In the moment, it was called straight away. It went to VAR. It was upheld. A lot of people are saying that Rashford flopped or went down easy. You try to run at that pace and get knocked on the knee and see if you don't go down. Contact was made. It's a pen. Bruno put that pen away. The red card before that was a similar thing to the Van Dijk, but a lot more argument that there was better coverage from Bowley coming from that left side there. So both contentious calls. Nonetheless, they were made. United get the 3-2 win and get 3 points. 2 games at home where they get 3 points this season against the Wolves and that you can very easily argue they shouldn't have gotten any points from.
Well, look, I'm not the biggest Manchester United fan, but they ground one out.
Yeah.
And the teams that are going to really rival for the top 4 spots in the league, or 6 spots in the league, are all the ones that are going to be able to kind of grind it out when they have to. And so good job, United. I mean, they still have got a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah.
To not look like a bunch of kids in bumper cars running around the field, but just I feel like there's so many teams that are like that right now.
Yeah, and you went back to a little bit of what United knew, and what kind of made them on a bit of a run last year with starting that midfield that we're just talking about. Varane went off with an injury in this, so not good. Still no Luke Shaw, but you had that midfield is what kind of held it together and kind of kept the game going a bit. Rashford was out on the left wing again. That's a big plus. He looks much more comfortable out there. It looks like he enjoys the game opposed to playing down the center. Martial got the start in this up front. Not good. Jadon Sancho later came in. Antony, I think, looked okay. Looked pretty good in this game, but a lot of work for him still, as just he only has a left foot, relies on his speed and his touch, and has to dial in that shooting, that little bit more moves in the box. But I think he's getting there. He's coming along. So we'll see.
How do we feel about Nottingham in this match? Came out firing.
I think they don't need to feel bad at all. You're playing against, one of the bigger clubs in the world. And I mean, made Manchester fight for it. Hey, look, if there's one thing the merry men of Nottingham can't fight against very well, it's the sheriff of Nottingham. So when the ref's just going to give everything to Man United, what are you going to do?
There it is.
I feel like the team overall, when that second United goal went in, you could kind of see the air come out of them. And it didn't seem like they had as much fight in them as they did, kind of earlier in that match when they were pouncing on every opportunity they could. They were seemingly playing well as a team. But the second that second United goal went in and they tied it up, it just looked like everybody was deflated, and
the pressure when that went in just started to mount a bit. That's why Worrell makes that challenge as Bruno was about to be on goal there. Right. That just the pressure just kind of starts to build. The pen, you might not make that challenge. You might just allow him to run out of bounds or along the line and just block the center off. If you're not terribly worried that that's going to happen. So it played into United's favor. Kudos to them for grinding out that win, if you will, but still have not looked great. And coming up next,
well, coming on next, it's Big Red Day. I do think Nottingham, though, like just already, I know it's 3 games in, but I think especially with some of the other clubs that are out there, I think they're going to be okay. I think they can live to survive another season, which really that's what they need to do, right? They got a bit of money for staying in. They need to survive another season and bolster their group. But they clearly picked some good people to fill in some gaps. And I think you'll see. I think Forest will survive this year. They definitely will not end up on my pick for bottom 3.
It depends on what they do with the transfer for window, because Brendan Johnson, kind of their prolific winger goal scorer, if you will, who had a terrific year last year, hasn't really done much this year so far, but he's being touted to be on the move somewhere. So it does depend. I think that they're okay. I think they're in a better spot than they were, say, this time last year, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think that's going for him. Jay Lings, no. I think Jay Lings is he's a free spirit, if you will. In other words, he's the free. No, there was reports that I saw not too long ago that he was training again with David Moyes and West Ham, but I don't know if any official announcement came of that. So
that sounds right. Well, Ferris, I kind of halted your segue a little bit. You're right. Speaking of Manchester United, heading down to London to take on Arsenal at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday on Big NBC and Peacock. I saw. I think they're both. It's going to be on both. So for this match, I mean, I don't know. I think you got two clubs. Every club is. It's funny, you know. The season comes back on, and you're watching every club. You're like, everybody's trying to feel like to get their feet back under them again, and how quickly there are the teams, especially in those top 6, 8 clubs, get their feet under them to look great. Like Brighton, they came right out. They look, their feet are under them. Man City, they're fine. They don't even look. They look. They never stop playing. What'd you say?
They have a hoverboard. They don't need feet.
Exactly. And so this is one of those matches I feel like is a big deal from the sense of finding out between these two teams, because they haven't quite got their feet under them yet, what this match is going to look like.
Do we think the injuries on the Man United side are going to play a big toll on Man United as they go in for Arsenal?
I don't know if it's a big toll. I would like to see this, as Phil and I were discussing in the group chat, like to see this at basically a full size, right? Last year, the game that we went and saw, which was the second game of the year, that Arsenal won 3-2. There was no Casemiro because of the card. There was no Jesus on the other side, so you're missing some players there. There's no Timber on the Arsenal side here. There could be an Antonio, or what's his name that plays there at the back for you all, Blake?
Oh, Raya, you mean? Or sorry, I thought you meant that we switching out
the other
Ramsdale. Oh my gosh, yep,
Gabriel.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm thinking of Orlando City's two backs for some reason. Anyways,
yeah, he looks like he'll
Gabriel,
probably
He hasn't started. It's been kind of weird. Is he on like the naughty list? Who kind of knows? Will Partey play that right back position again? There are some injuries, on the Arsenal side, not as much. But is Nketiah going to start? Because Trossard didn't look good in the game on the weekend, playing kind of that false nine.
I think Nketiah. I think you will see him start.
I think so too, especially with that number 9. Jesus could start as well. I know he came off the bench in this, so that could be a thing.
I think my gut is you will see him come off the bench again, and Eddie will start. That's what I think will happen.
Havertz is interesting because he hasn't looked good, especially up to the cost that he costed.
But I did see something that I thought like
costed.
Why does he get so much crap? I'm not that I was a huge fan of the signing, but why does he get so much crap at 65 million and like Mudryk is like does not get as much crap? He stat wise has done better and okay.
Well, yeah, but he's had more years where Mudryk's younger and a new entity to Chelsea. He's coming through some turbulent times where you're putting that price tag, and I don't think it's so much on Havertz. It is because Chelsea aren't going to sell him if he wasn't really doing a whole lot for them and doing what they kind of wanted or expected out of him. He was a decent player for them, but they're willing to let him go for that cost. And Arteta seemingly doesn't really need him. Because what position does he play that Arteta needs to fill him into? There's not. You're
Right.
covered on the wings, covered in central midfield from any sort of creative aspect, but Havertz isn't even creative, so you can't go there. The best position for him might be a false nine, but Arteta really doesn't play the false nine. So there was a lot of questions as why are you going to spend that much on this? Same way though, that Mount is questioned. Why did Ten Hag sign Mount? Like Chelsea got away and just bamboozled us both, Blake, because because both are players of a similar ilk that Mount's a good midfielder and much more creative, but we have Bruno at United. So why do you bring in Mount? Where does he fit in? Because he's not going to be a double pivot or even a box-to-box for an older Casemiro with his legs and to allow Bruno to push forward. What's Havertz going to do that's going to allow... He's not going to support Rice, and he's just going to be getting in Odegaard's way up there. So, where does...
the only thing he could be doing is pulling in under or going over Martinelli to try and create that, that run in behind while everybody's on Martinelli. But that's kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Well, and we'd be having
a
a different conversation if he'd actually scored the goal he absolutely should have scored in that Fulham match.
I mean, he's done that how many times at Chelsea?
Yep.
Right. I wasn't sad to see him go, to be honest. He did score a couple of really clutch goals for us, especially in our Champions League run. But I think to go back to your earlier question, Blake, the reason he gets more stick than Mudryk is because he's a Champions League player. And
he won the Champions League.
I know. So he should be performing at a better level. For some reason, after that Champions League run, it just kind of plateaued for him. Well, it went south and then plateaued for him because he wasn't really producing very well at Chelsea. He's still not really producing anything for you guys. So I think that's why he gets more stick than Mudryk. Everyone knows Mudryk, 1, is a young player. 2, he came in at a really terrible time. And so 3/4 of the Chelsea players that came in at that time are all getting a pass because of how weird the end of that season and the beginning of this one was. So I think that's why he gets a bunch more stick. But he needs to start showing up for you soon because
I'm looking
in this match like he played in Champions League, he's a force to be reckoned with.
He'll get a hat trick against Man United. Mark my words. I'm not. As I was telling Phil, we were going back and forth on our own text, but we were just kind of I think some plans that we're going to go down to the Celt on Sunday to watch the game together. I'm not confident at all. I'll be honest with you. Can United get a point away from home or something? Yeah, maybe, but I think Arsenal are going to have a field day. I even said I could possibly see a similar Liverpool result that we had that kind of field day. I don't know why. I don't have a good feeling. I haven't had a good feeling with any game for United this far. So maybe it's just because they haven't really got me going yet with the 3 games. And, this last game, you probably should feel that way, but they really didn't look all that great, all things considered. So from a United aspect, I'm not overly confident that we're going to get anything from the game. But we'll see, because Arsenal on the other side haven't started off the way that everybody thought Arsenal was going to be in their title contending start of the season with 2 draws and a win, right? Is that what you guys have? Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting one. I don't think it's going to be quite the 3-2 game that Phil and I saw in the Emirates last season. I think it's going to be
a draw and 2 wins.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say this: if the signing of Kai Havertz and created any competition for folks, not that they the same position, but seeing Vieira come in and play really well, and that was a guy that Arsenal brought in, weren't really playing a lot. We're just doing here and there. When he did come in, he wasn't looking great, but he's been looking better. I mean, maybe if Arteta could do the same thing with Havertz, but I think that's Vieira didn't start. If Vieira starting getting into the first team, then he will have done that job. Maybe Havertz needs to ride that pine just a little bit and learn how to work in the team. Because I know losing Timber threw off some of the plans, but that shouldn't have anything to do with Havertz. But Trossard, like you said, also didn't look great in that opening or in that match last game. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
But we've missed the mark, and this should have been headline on its own, because on Sunday, my world was shattered. The travesty, absolutely hatred that Arteta has for tucked in shirts is amazing. It's mind-boggling. It is crimes against the tucked in, as Kieran Tierney went out on loan. What the actual
I mean,
it's like putting Rob Holding out on loan. That's crimes against the bald, but got his hair back.
Tierney's got to learn how to not be a dork and quit tucking his shirt in.
You have right back and left back issues, and then you put him on loan. And not to mention, he's one of the best. He's the pioneer tucked in player of the modern game.
It is kind of interesting, right? Like, I will say, I'm curious to know what's going on when Timber's injured and Tierney goes out on loan. There has to be some thought about that. I mean, if things get bad enough, you can always call him back. But why isn't he getting a go ahead? And there's a couple people that you go, I think this guy could do okay. Emil Smith-Rowe's one of them, and ESR looks like he might be out too before we even finish recording this pod.
And he hasn't gotten and you're right. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of time. And those two players were two of my.
I'll say this though, Emil Smith-Rowe, I love him and his heart. He gets injured so much. Of the Arsenal squad, especially from years past. If they could get a chunk of change for him, it sucks on a personal level, but it would be good to get. Just not to Chelsea. That was the rumor, right? Chelsea was trying to get him because you guys need another friggin' player in that spot.
Well, they just signed Cole Palmer, right?
We signed Palmer, who sounds like a Texas football player, like American football player.
Cole Palmer Oils.
We just signed him. He's a traditional winger. And so we have, 68 wingers now that are all not.
See, that's what when Ferris was like, they got rid of Havertz because he wasn't doing the job at Chelsea. I'm like, did they get rid of him, or were they just like, oh crap, we need another locker? Draw names out of a hat. Havertz, we're gonna get rid of you. let's sell you. Sorry, buddy. We need your locker.
Jeez.
I don't know. Maybe Tierney wanted to go.
Oh, well, he wanted first play. He wanted more first team play. And I think that was a big part of it. So they put him out on loan, and he gets to play in the Champions League with Sociedad. So
can't wait to see him with a tucked in shirt and that striped blue and white of Sociedad. He's gonna be the sharpest La Liga player in all of Spain.
Hey, go out there, kick some butt, come back, and get on the first team. That's what you do. Speaking of first team, Raheem Sterling, who I thought, geez, of course, when I bench him, get rid of him from my fantasy team, because I'm like, man, Chelsea's not going to use that guy. He goes and scores 3 goals, or not 3 goals, sorry. He gets a brace in a 3-0 win. As the first earns Pochettino and Chelsea's first win of the season over Luton Town. Gosh, beating up on Luton Town. Chelsea, just villains. We all love Luton Town. And that's when they're going to cut the fire.
Always tends to play the villain though for some reason.
but two goals from Sterling and Nick Jackson. Pochettino's first win. Yeah, Luton Town. They might be an up and down. Maybe they can come back after next season when they get that balloon payment or a parachute payment from the Premier League.
Right.
But
yeah, they're looking pretty dire.
Yeah, is that Chelsea looking good, or is that just Luton Town not?
To be honest, I think it's a mix of both. Chelsea didn't have a bright start to the beginning of this match. It took us about 20 minutes to really kind of find our place in the match and really get the engine rolling. which, I've been saying for quite some time, this is going to be a very long rebuild. It's not going to be an instant turnaround for Chelsea. And I think we're seeing that. Jackson and between
I love me some Nick Jackson.
Sterling, and Enzo Fernandez, those guys absolutely ruled this match. Once they got going, the no-look passes,
Yep.
the balls over the top, the balls through to these two guys, and Raheem Sterling's cross to Nick Jackson was, absolutely centimeter perfect for Jackson to put that into the back of the net. So here's hoping we get that moving a bit more. We now only have 13 weeks for Nkunku to come back from injury.
Cuckoo.
What?
Nkunku. I was just saying the same name.
And then we'll see how crazy it gets from there, because we're going to be relying on Nick Jackson and maybe some Colt Palmer to get us goals. But I don't know who's Colt Palmer going to go in for. We have, 10 deep on each of the wings, so I don't know where he's going to come in, but because he's definitely not a replacement for Nkunku, like two different positions. Yes, they're attacking players, but I can't imagine he's going to put Pochettino's going to put Colt Palmer in Nkunku's spot. So we'll see how it goes. Luton Town, though, under the pressure, just kind of buckled. Their midfield kind of turned into Swiss cheese. They were misreading, not plugging the gaps, not putting themselves in advantageous spots. Had a couple of good half chances, but could never link up that final bit to get a decent chance out of it. So in the end, what I thought was going to end up being like a 1-1 or 0-0 draw turned out to be a bunch better. Thank you, Raheem Sterling, who I was about 2 podcasts ago.
Yes, you were.
Saying, I don't know that he's actually doing it.
You have an absolutely wonderful way of doing that, and to make players better on the field.
When you said that, I should not have dropped him from my fantasy team. That should have been I should have known at that moment. Yeah.
He was railing on who was it? Rafael Santos for Orlando City. Oh, he can't defend. He can't put it across to save his life.
No. I said he makes poor defensive decisions.
Yeah.
He's a good crosser, but he makes terrible defensive decisions.
He's been on fire for Orlando City. Like 2 goals, 2 assists or something. Rice needs to talk smack about people, and then all of a sudden they just started to play good.
Everybody's got a gift.
Exactly.
This one's mine.
Use it wisely then. Moving on down the list, we get to James Maddison gets his first for Tottenham as they go down south and beat the Cherries at Bournemouth 2-0. I don't know if that was Spurs being great or Cherries not being good.
Well, I think Tottenham is playing some increasingly better ball.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think their new manager, Postecoglou, he's in the press a lot.
He's fun.
I tend to really enjoy listening to him talk. One of the pundits was asking him why Tottenham is doing so well and why they're so on the front foot. And he just flat out said right back to him, I don't know. I'm just copying what Pep does.
Yep.
And I thought, man, that's great. Good for that dude. Right? Like,
absolutely.
Good for him. But Tottenham's playing some fairly decent front foot ball. And
so then is it this season, his last season, and then Man United hires him when they fire Erik ten Hag at the end of the season? Is that what happens? Is that the rotate around?
Give me a break. Rude.
They go, hey, we can get this Australian guy.
Is there a beer on this one?
So maybe not.
That United won't fire.
Not this season. Maybe it's next season.
I'll absolutely put a beer on it. They're not going to fire him before the season's out. I mean, wilder things have happened, but I would be very surprised if that happens.
Yeah, I think Spurs got to hold on to this guy for as long as they can.
And they got to keep James Madison healthy because, as I said in a previous pod, almost all of the midfield distribution and tactical vision goes through Madison.
Can I on that too though? Are they better without the best striker England's ever put out?
Well, also a massive coaching change.
Okay, I mean,
right?
But there is to Blake's point, there are statistics in the past when he was hurt that uptick Son's goal scoring, that they still continue to win. So there are stuff there. I don't know if they are a better team, because in the end, in those big games, in those big moments, what a number 9 can do for you, like a Kane, Benzema, like a Ronaldo in his head, like those type of players do, is tough. Like a Lewandowski, right? That's why it's one of the hardest positions to find. Erling Haaland, although not so much in big games for Man City because he doesn't really score, but that is such a commodity to have in the game that I don't know if Tottenham's a better team for it. But yeah, all of those things combined can certainly make you think that they are.
I mean, I know it's only a few games, so I don't mean to imply.
Yeah.
Still a long bit.
Yeah. And I would say Haaland doesn't score in those big games also because the big teams throw at him and then other people open up and score for Man City. So he still gets the job done. You know what I mean? Right. It's like the wide receiver getting triple teamed. And so the tight end is scoring the winning touchdown, where was that? Where am I? Oh, here we go. Despite the Fulham red card. And we already did that. Did we not talk about Arsenal already? Wow.
We
kind of did. Sorry.
But not necessarily with this game.
So we didn't go too in deep in it, but yeah, the Fulham red card are down to 10 men, but Arsenal being up 2-1, they concede in the 87th and a goal from João Palhinha. There we go. As Fulham gain a point at the Emirates 2-2. Just some bad play. Let them get scored on. Like asleep at the wheel. Bad soccer pass. Ramsdale being way out of position when that bad pass happened too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both at fault. Don't be wrong. I'm not trying to.
I don't fault Ramsdale quite as much.
No, it's a terrible back pass. But I'm curious. How much longer until Raya starts for Arsenal in the league?
I mean, even the Sports Illustrated headline is Aaron Ramsdale blunder costs Arsenal 2-2 draw. I got to be honest, that goal happened, and I thought, because Raya was probably going to start in the first EFL match, but that EFL match we drew is going to be against Brentford, so he can't play. So it will be Ramsdale in that match. So with that coming up, there is the excuse to sub in Raya if you want and not make it look like, could you be because you're using Ramsdale for the EFL match. So for the Carabao Cup. I don't know. I do think there's going to be an experiment relatively soon.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
He's good. I mean, they both are, I think. I mean, let them compete, man. Competition. Right. Honors. Wait. I don't know what you mean by that sentence, Ferris.
Even.
Oh,
is that how the saying goes?
I don't know that. What saying is honors even?
All's even. All's honors. Moving along.
Okay. Well, another London derby ends in a 1-1 draw between Brentford and Palace. And maybe if someone knows what honors even means, they can tell me.
I'm Googling it right now. You give me a chance. First thing on Google, what does honors even mean? I don't mean it straight because I haven't looked at it yet. If honors are even, then a competition has ended with neither side emerging as a winner. But you know what I did? I spelled honors wrong. HONOURS.
Well, that's because it's a British thing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Evenly matched. There we go. Honors even basically means a draw. Funny, we've got a shorter word for that. All right. Everton, woof. We're all putting them in 20th, right? I mean, if we don't, we're insane since we're starting our preview late. Can we all agree they're going down? They did on Saturday with a 1-0 loss to Wolverhampton in the 87th. And the Wolves didn't they just sell off? Or are they about to sell off one of their strikers or one of their players?
Nunez to Man City.
Nunez went on strike.
Yeah, the old strike in football.
He pulled an Mbappe.
Well, he pulled what every NFL player that has one good season and thinks their contract should be upped, even though they're in a 3-year contract. But after year one, I had one good season, so you're going to up me, so I'm going to sit out. I'm just going to strike. If I was an owner, I'd be like, "F off, sit out
later, dude." Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so he's trying to see if he's got the leverage to force this Manchester City trade to happen.
What's that quote from Dodgeball? It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
Yep.
Because I mean, to be like, I'm holding out till I go to Man City. Now, look, I'm not saying he's not good, but to be at Wolverhampton and be like, I deserve to be with the folks who just won the treble. Or
that's a statement.
Would he get play time? That's just stupid. Whatever, dude. West Ham, they halt the juggernaut of Brighton and Hove as JWP, Jared Brown, and Michael Antonio. They are all on target on the day as the Hammers win 3-1 over the Seagulls. That to me was the most shocking game of the weekend, just because Brighton has been killing it.
Absolutely, and James Ward-Prowse for making Arsenal and Man United look like absolute dummies at 40 mil for him. Yeah. And here we are spending 60 mil, 70 mil on Havertz, 60 mil on Mount. And Prowse has a goal and 2 assists and a goal or something in his first 2 games for them.
Yep.
A lovely ball to Jared Bowen, and his touch was impeccable on that goal.
Yeah.
And you look at the stats, completely lopsided, but West Ham were clinical on the chances that they got. They made the best of it and made Brighton just made Brighton. Words completely lost me there.
I think I wrote in our chat thread that the smartest thing West Ham did was snag Ward-Prowse the moment they were able to, because he has made such an impact on that West Ham team.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing else to say.
Absolutely. And they just signed another midfielder too, from Ajax.
Oh, yes, they did. Yeah.
Kundos, I think.
Not for nothing.
Alvarez.
Watch out for West Ham, because they may have just made several moves that, guys, this season may not be about a top 6. It may be more about the top 8 as far as it's going to be tight, at least second down to 8. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Man City actually slips at some point, but that's going to be moving and grooving all the way to the final weekend, I believe. Matty Cash's brace, another Diaby Gold for Villa is more than enough to beat Burnley 3-1. Burnley also dire.
Looking less than exciting.
Just what most of these teams struggle with when they come up, just no real goal scorers in the team.
Yeah. So what's Everton?
Just no real goal scorers, no real number 9.
So what's Everton's excuse?
Like most teams that are going to go down, no real goal scorer.
You said most teams that come up. That's
yeah, I know.
It's and finally, yet another Haaland and Rodri goal as Man City grind out a 2-1 win against Sheffield United, and they did kind of have to grind that out. So
yep. They did.
Good play by Sheffield United. We were all rooting for you.
They played City tough. They really did. They kept the press up for longer than I expected them to keep it up. And then they were constantly putting themselves in space to intercept that second ball, intercept that third ball, and really make Man City have to get around them.
I'm just going to say, They made Man City have to play them hard. Look at the blokes behind you. If you can do that, you're all right, guys. Because that's you're looking a lot better than the 3 below you who also may be sitting on 0 points. But Sheffield United looks like they got hope to have some good matches here and there. Bottom 3, I don't know. Here's hoping Luton gets a win when they finally get to open their stadium. Right. Did you see where the stadium's about to get? They're going to soon open, and the seats and stuff they added didn't do anything. In fact, it took 100 seats away or whatever from fans, because it's really just for the broadcasters. They didn't do anything for the people that'll actually be there.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash going on right now about that stadium, but I'll cover that in our preview pod because there's a bunch of fun stuff.
Awesome.
I'm hoping too that stadium, when it comes around for our Halloween pod, you got some good spooky stories for that stadium, because I feel like, I mean, it's just surrounded by houses and stuff. Something's got to
Right.
happen there, man.
Someone had to be haunting it.
All right, now does that move us over to our halftime whistle?
What was that?
I have problems with this soundboard. Damn it!
Well, that's true. Remember, I my headphone jack is only halfway in, so I can hear out of both ears. So yeah, there's something wrong with this.
Do we actually have beer news, or are we coming back in from the half to get us to our roundup?
Ron, did you want to share anything about your smoking, or?
Well, for the sake of time, let's just plow on.
Okay. I will only quickly say it was fantastic.
Thank you.
And then 2, I've been playing the EAFC beta version, which is really cool and Ultimate Team. You can now integrate NWSL and England, the FS, the WSL over there, into your Ultimate Team. So you can play Sam Kerr and Mbappe up front together. You can play with Alex Morgan and Rashford. You could play, it is so cool.
That's awesome. I was wondering that when I saw the last commercial, and then you sent that in the text thread. I was like, oh heck yeah, that's cool that you can do that.
I wonder if that was a big old middle finger to
it
FIFA.
could be, but really, really cool. I think it's just those 2 leagues because they have the most star power in the world for the men's league to integrate into Ultimate Team. You could play with others, but yeah, really, really cool. I think the game comes out at the end of September sometime. New look, no longer FIFA. That's why it's called EAFC. But some different changes, some kind of cool stuff they're doing. So,
I'm giving them. I had laid off FIFA for a bit, but I'll give them a shot. It's a new go round for this one, and then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how much they weren't allowed to do because of FIFA. It'll be interesting to see what if you can feel like some sort of shackles were released. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does that bring us back in from the half? Hey, it was delayed, but it was correct. Now this brings us over to the LaLeagueA's roundup. Yeah.
I think we have another beer first, don't we?
Oh, we do. You're right. That's what we should have been doing. You're right there, Ron.
That's
Good
right.
call. The old 10%er.
Oh,
The hype version.
it's gonna hurt.
All right.
I'm
the
jealous.
Jekyll and Hype is again the same hop profile, Citra Mosaic and Galaxy. However, this is a triple hazy.
Oh,
So
10%.
yeah, 10%er. So we're just gonna go ahead and do it in the old same pint glasses as we just mix all the hops
Did
together.
he say a triple hazy IPA?
Correct.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Triples are my favorite beer styles, so this should be interesting.
Oh, look at that bad
Good.
boy. Excellent pour. Sorry, I know this is an audio medium. I'm staring at Ferris pouring that beer like it's a video that we do.
We have like the can completion of the Doctor and the Hyde hype on both as they call it.
That can art is awesome.
This is the first can art.
Yeah, that's rad. I dig
We'll-
that.
We'll put a bunch of pictures up on the.
All
Cheers,
right.
my friend.
Cheers.
How is it, gents?
Ho 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 ho.
Boozy.
Boozy.
Damn. But damn good.
Ooh.
Damn good and smooth though.
It is. You don't really taste the alcohol till the end, when you could breathe fire. But the flavor is really good. A very clean mouthfeel for a hazy IPA. And then a very robust hop flavor in the middle, and then a clean finish. Quite nice. Quite nice.
All right.
Very, 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 very good. A good. When you say triple IPA, sometimes it really peels your teeth back or really is strong. This has a good blend of being strong, but then a mellow kind of.
My barometer for that is that Stone IPA with the green label. I love it, but it does peel your teeth off with with its hoppiness.
It's like drinking pine Sol.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But weirdly, I do like it from time to time. So, all right, there, Ferris, you can take us around.
We played the whistle, but we do have the LaLeague's roundup. Well done. All right. We'll cover a couple things here with the LaLeague's round as all leagues are starting to come back now. We will start at first though, with just the crazy story that's kind of sent shockwaves, if you will, across the soccer world as the kiss heard around the world from the president of the Spanish Football Federation, Luis Robles, planted on Spanish player Jennifer Hermosa, is still taking ridiculous turns as Robles doubles down, triples down, quadruple downs, everything. His mom goes on a hunger strike in a church.
Oh my God. It's
out to her son's exonerated or something. He's been suspended from operations by FIFA. Good luck with that. Like
he was literally at a conference where they thought he was going to announce he was going to resign, and then like went nuts. Like
just wild. And all this amongst a lot of outpouring from the NWSL, from men's league, from Spanish players that are saying we won't play for Spain. The WSL this past week, and all of them had armbands that had support for Hermosa as calls for Robles to step down, just continue to ring. So we won't go timeline. We won't go.
Well, we covered it a lot in the last.
Yeah, we did. There's a lot
we
of
didn't,
good athletic and athletic and ESPN have some good timelines there of kind of the series of events so far.
But the one thing to me that says they need to burn it all down and start over was the Spanish football being like, well, if you're making us suspend our if you're suspending our president, then UEFA, you should take all our Spanish clubs out of the Champions League. That the Spanish Football Federation said,
what Muppets.
Also,
can you imagine? They're sticking up for this guy so much. Instead of any PR thing, hear whatever, be like, hey, we just want to see all the pieces. We're not going to say anything bad about him, but we're not going to say anything good about him. We'll see how the pieces fall out. But in the meantime, we'll take this suspension, yada, yada, yada. But it'd be like, no, take all of our clubs out of what support do you think you're going to get? Yeah. All the Spanish people can be like, are you insane? Take the clubs out of the Champions? What
Did you see the videos that are on social media of the coach that Robles hired?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's when one of the ladies do not play well, he calls her over to the sideline in a match and he grabs and twists her ear. And then he's like yelling at her. And when he's done, he gives her a slap in the face and then pushes her back out on the field. Like there's this massive compilation video of this coach that was hired by Robles who is assaulting the players for not playing the way he wants them to play. And this is the league that's doubling down on Robles and his choices. What? What a bunch of more.
Well, I mean, clearly it's going to get messier before it gets better, but it will get better. And those fools are all going to be out of there because the whole country's turning against them. All the players are turning against them.
Right.
What you got next, my friend?
The Bundesliga is back.
Yes, it is.
Actually, it was back last weekend, but small things, small things like fall starts September 1st. Maybe, I don't know. We may have made that up. Anyways, Bayern Munich not only are popping beers for Oktoberfest. I don't know if you guys saw that recently, but Harry Kane and the Lederhosen popping beers. That's kind of fun. But they are loving their Englishman, Harry Kane, as he's off to a blistering start. And Hoot says he can't score in August with 3 goals in 2 matches, a brace in his one this past weekend. And that was against... Sorry, I just had it up. That was against Augsburg. He's just off to an awesome start. And it just seems like it's the number 9 that the German Giants have missed since the departure of Robert Lewandowski. Union Berlin, though, do sit atop of the table this early on as they are tied on points and goal difference with the German Giants of Bayern Munich and Wolfsburg, Bayern Leverkusen and Wolfsburg round out the top four. Really early on, like I said, only two games or 2 match weeks played so far, so should be fun. And yeah, I believe that's on ESPN a lot. So if you get a chance, watch some Bundesliga because it is a very, very fun
league, quick, tactical,
A lot of
a little
goals.
bit different style than
Yeah.
but it's quite fun. Quite fun.
Sure. And then finally, Blake, do you want to say? Or do you want
I mean,
me to
Ferris,
say?
I always like it when you say it here. I'm not going to lie. I didn't
Well,
say
why?
that.
Because I can't
You
say?
said that.
You're damn right, because I know I can't.
Yes, we're back. I love it.
Champions! The Champions League is on the doorstep as the draw for the most prestigious club tournament was announced. And, gents, we do have a definitive group of death.
Boy, do we. Oh, my gosh.
And it's the F group of death. It is literally Group F, which consists of, and welcome back to the Champions League, Newcastle United. Woo! All right. First team out of Group F, PSG. You might have heard of them. Now, might we say a bit different of a PSG, right?
Right.
No Messi, no Neymar. Still have Mbappe, but
for now.
right. Still one of those like powerhouse teams, if you will, right? Borussia Dortmund almost won the Bundesliga last year in Germany, squandered it there at the end.
Half of the last game of the season.
Yeah. So damn it. AC Milan, who won the Scudetto, and then Newcastle United.
That is a tough group.
Yep. And Newcastle haven't been in the tournament in 20 years. But on the other side, how cool is that? That AC Milan, PSG, Mbappe's coming to the north of England in Newcastle. Yep. That Borussia Dortmund's coming. That is cool, man. So those are going to be some fun match nights there at up there at Newcastle. The Toon Army is going to be absolutely rocking. That should be fun. So your other groups here. Group A, you have Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. A pretty good, strong group there, too. Bayern and United will be interested, especially with all the things of Kane being touted as possibly going to United in the summer, now going to Bayern, so they'll get to match up. Copenhagen out of Denmark, and Galatasaray out of Turkey. Should be a fun group there. Group B, Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens. Another fun group. Sevilla, we know, can just be dangerous in these type of tournaments. Arsenal back in the Champions League since the first time since 2015-16? PSG out of the PSV out of the Netherlands and Lens out of France, who had a good season last year. Group C, another fun group. Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin.
They got relegated twice.
They had a hell of a season
and had to fight their way back up. Yeah.
Yep.
They have a cool story.
Yep, but now get to host Real Madrid, possibly like the biggest club in the world, coming to Union Berlin. How cool is that? And by the way, also on the LaLeague's roundup, Jude Bellingham becomes the first Englishman to receive a Spanish player or La Liga player of the month. It was just announced today as he's been on a good goal-scoring streak in the first few games over there in Spain. Champions League, Group D. Benfica, Inter, Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. So Kieran Tierney, all tucked in. We'll get to play in the Champions League still, which is kind of cool. That'd be an interesting group there. Very, very, very interesting group. You would expect Inter to top it, but we'll see. Group E, you got Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. I really want Celtic to get out of the group. They haven't in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to in this. They might. Atletico are they just play tournament style ball, if you will. It's very defensive, will counter when they can, if they can, but are just tough nose and just to grind out games that you need to in this. They absolutely will. Lazio, fun team. I don't know if they're quite the team they were last year, so we'll see. So let's see what that group is. We already went over Group F and the proverbial what everybody's saying, and most definitely is.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Whew. It is called the all group right there. That, yeah. Group G: Man City, RB Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade, and Young Boys. Some were saying it's a dream draw for Man City. I'm not so sure of that. RB Leipzig just beat Bayern a few weeks back 3-0 in what was a slaughter, and they've been off to a good start. I know they played last year, I believe, in like the round of 16 or semifinal, something like that. So it's a good draw for them. They should disintegrate Red Star Belgrade. Young Boys, tough. They've had some shock draws and wins, and yeah. So we'll see. And then finally in Group H, you have Barcelona, who I think they got a very good draw, all things considered. Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. So interesting. Some big names in it. Some names not in it. You're missing your Chelseas. You're missing your Spurs. No, I'm kidding.
Liverpool.
Your Liverpools, exactly. You are missing some big names. Your Rangers in Scotland. Your Olympique Lyonnais in France. So you are missing some big ones, but a lot of good teams. I don't know when it kicks off. Does anybody know that?
That's what I was just looking for.
I was just trying to find that, and I do not see that. The 20th and 19th of September.
I want to. Yeah, it's after. Yeah,
that's
makes sense. It's going to be obviously after
October 3rd,
international
4th is match day 2, and the end of October is 3. Yeah, so
yeah. But you know what we haven't done, gents? Ever before in the history of the pod? Done our Champions League preview before our
first time
Premier League review.
Oh, that's fun.
So real quick,
fall starts on September 1st, so life is good.
100%. Real quick, we'll just go through the groups. Give me your top 2, and we won't go any further than that. Group A, Blake, who you got going through? Your top
I had it right in front of me. I closed it out. Group A. I think it's going to be Bayern Munich and Copenhagen.
Okay, I can see that. No worries. Ron, you go ahead.
Amazing.
I knew that was coming. I don't know why.
Copenhagen. Good for you, Blake. I knew friends for a reason. It's I mean, do I really need to say it?
Yeah.
It's going to be Bayern and Galatasaray.
Okay. I'll do Bayern and United. God almighty. Group B, I'll take Arsenal and Sevilla.
Out of Group B?
Ron?
Yeah, Arsenal,
Blake?
Sevilla.
Group C, Ron, who you got?
As listed, Napoli and Real Madrid.
Fair enough. Blake?
Yeah, Napoli, Real Madrid.
Well, that'll be the first. Yeah, that we'll go again all the same. I think so. I think your Berlin can be an interesting team here, but yeah, no, I agree. Group D, Blake, who you got?
Inter Milan and Real Sociedad, all because of the tucked-in shirt.
Okay, love it. I'll go Inter and Benfica.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Inter and Benfica. Benfica just hangs in these tournaments.
They absolutely do. You're right. Group E, I will take Atletico and Celtic. I'll go out there. Yep. Ron?
I'm going to go Atletico and Celtic too, because I'd like to see that happen as well.
Blake?
Piss off the Rangers.
Yeah, there you go. We'll come back to Group F. Group G, Man City and Leipzig. Does anybody have anything different?
Nope.
Okay. Group H. I will take Barcelona and Porto, but I could see a
Yeah,
shout
Barca and
for
Shakhtar. That's
That's
what
where
I was going to say.
Barca and Shakhtar.
Let's bring us to
Okay.
Group FU.
Okay. Yeah. To Group FU. I don't know what to think in this, to be honest with you. I will take AC Milan and Dortmund.
Man, that's where I was headed. Yeah, I was headed for AC Milan. And
Yeah,
Dortmund.
I think I'm going to say AC Milan and Newcastle United. I don't believe in PSG.
All right.
So
Playing balls.
I don't believe in PSG either. Yeah. I could see a Newcastle and either Dortmund or AC Milan though too, but I think
Dortmund can just
I
they
don't
can
know.
screw the pooch here.
That's gonna be
I don't know.
group to
That's
watch,
where
so.
I'm going to go with it. Does that pull us out? Are we done with LaLeague's roundup?
Okay.
I really just did that because I saw that Ron was not looking near his board at all, and that was just
We
me
are.
being an a-hole.
I was looking to see that I was correct in my assertion that PSG is.
I'm an idiot,
eighth
Ferris.
in the
You had the
French league.
group in our content, but because of how it was on my screen, I thought it was the end of the because I thought it was the end. So I'm sitting there searching for a table online to look along with you, and it was right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Well, in fairness, we started talking about
Hey,
it,
don't
and then I added
give away the secret sauce
the
that you're just
picture.
making.
So
stuff
it
as
was
you go
literally content on the go again.
along. You're all fine. All right, so for the beers, the pod to wrap us up, I had the D9 Brown Sugar Brown Cow mocha beer. What do you gents have?
From Tactical Brewing, we had Jekyll and Hype,
The
2 beers.
triple hazy IPA and the dry hopped dry lager.
As always, follow
Oat
us on
lager,
all the
sorry.
socials.
Oat lager.
Untapped will throw
Super
up all
good.
these beers.
Both of them.
If you like the pod, leave us a review. Let us know you did. We'll try to get some over to you, and tell your friends and family, your grandma about us. Your grandma would love our show. I know it, like without a doubt. Yeah, this show go over huge. Grannies are a big part of our demographic. I've been looking at the stats. There we go, gents. Let's get us to his Latan quote. You got one, Ferris?
I'll give you two for Thursday. One, I score a lot of goals that are hard to replicate. I don't think you can score as spectacular as goals as those. I don't think you can score as spectacular a goal as those of Zlatan in a video game, even though these games are very realistic these days. Then Zlatan compares himself to the Statue of Liberty, as he would. When you come to New York, you have the Statue of Liberty. When you come to Sweden, you have the Statue of Zlatan.
Just love it.
He's awesome.
Well, I'm sitting here trying to get some stuff
Gift
wrapped
that
up at
keeps
my
on
house. I had to bring a handyman in and had a whole list of crap for him to do. And then I come in today and only half of it's done. I had like 6 things on the list and he only got 1, 3, and 5 done because it turns out he only does odd jobs.
Math joke.
Ferris looks like
Good one. All right.
he doesn't want to say that he likes that one.
Ferris
He kind of
pulled
does.
back the laugh.
It was the most with that
His face is
mustache
the
Ron
same
Swanson
color as
face
his
I've ever seen
pirate
Ferris
shirt.
make before.
Well done, Blake.
Oh, I
That
can watch
was
him
funny.
any day of the week. All right, ladies and jelly spoons, thanks for listening. Gents, good to chat with you again. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Cheers.